Dangerous for the wicket over in the Championship as we head into a double match week, and we have a new leader. That's right, it's the six-fingered banjo players. What am I talking about? Well, I'll tell you next. That's right, folks, back once again with a prediction video today. It's all about match number 41, that's right, in the Championship, and we'll get to it in a second. If you knew where you've been, smash your subscribe and your one-stop shop for Blackburn Rovers, Championship football, world football. We're going to all hear under one rooski. That's right, the six-finger freakazoids. They love their sisters, don't they? That's right, it's the Burnley lot, top of the pops right now with 84 points. Currently in the top two, joining them, it's the Blaze, that's right, with Leeds, shit in the bed, of course, and look like they could be destined for the playoffs. We'll take a look at that, and of course, much more in a second. If you knew where you've been, hit the old subscribe. But of course, what we're going to do now, though, is revisit the last round of games and, of course, look forward to this weekend's drama and bring it back up to date with the Superbru. Sit tight, hold on, let's get into it. Alrighty then, folks, let's turn the clock back to this past weekend. And I went down, of course, in the Championship. As you see it, Borough with a 2-0 away win against Rovers. You know, we're shit right now. That's official. We're dog shit. Coventry did lose to Burnley 2-1 with the 1-0 away win. Luton Town did get a draw against Leeds, point in the bag. West Brom lost to Sunderland. Goodness gracious me. 1-0 away win for the Mackhams. Bristol City with a 2-1 win over Watford. I went with a 2-0 win. Millwall did beat Portsmouth 2-1. I went with a 1-0 win. Massive win for Oxford United. 1-0 winners over the Sheffield United. I went the other way. Plymouth with a 2-1 win over Norwich boosted their own relegation spot there. Preston North End with a 1-1 draw against Stoke. I went with a 2-1 win. QPR could only draw with Cardiff 0-0. Hull City with an away win against Wednesday, and of course Swansea with a 1-0 win over Derby. That's right. So that's my picks. Did okay, but not really great. This is the table as it stands. It is Burnley. It is Sheffield United currently tip at the top of the table and going back to the Prem. Leeds will have to settle for a playoff spot at the moment with Sunderland, Middlesbrough, and then Bristol City in those top 6 spots. Going down, Cardiff, Luton, and Plymouth. But still, anyone's guess as to who's going down. I think you probably would look at 16th downwards. It's probably in the relegation spots. We'll see. Who bloody fucking knows? I don't know. Anyway, of course, let's take a look back at, of course, the Superbru and, of course, the situation over there. Remember, I am no longer playing. I've quit. I quit that because I'm just too good and I don't want to embarrass you. But this is, of course, the state of play in the Superbru. As you see, it's K7 with, of course, 19.5 points haul last week with KP 21 in hot pursuit. 17.5. Bristol Hinterland and Jacob Jackson, Memphis 55 and West Brom Hunter and Jimmy Pastone in the bronze medal spot. So well done to those guys, picking up a massive points haul for them. If you see your name in there, please smash your subscribe, smash the like, and hit the little bell. Of course, the overall leaderboard, though, looks like this. Dream Marley in, of course, number 1 spot with Bruce on first, closing in on him with KP21 also in level 2nd spot with Pennywise down 2 to number 4. It could all change, though, this week. It's actually a big week, double match week, of course. So we'll see who comes out on top. In the end, if you see your name in there, please smash the old like, smash your subscribe. This, of course, is the link if you want to use it when we come back around next time around. So here it is on the screen. But now we're looking forward to the next round of games, and these are those. That's right. And we're starting off with one close to my heart. It is Blackburn. It is Sheffield Wednesday. And it's coming this Tuesday, the 8th of April. We'll be doing the watch along for my better. I don't know. I don't know why we're doing this, but we're doing it. Of course, Wednesday coming at you with Danny Rolls boys up against Valorant Ishmael. Of course, both sides mid-table right now, 52 points for the season each. And they played each other 35 times since 1993. 14 wins Rovers, 12 wins Wednesday. There's been 9 draws between the two sides. Rovers, though, 5 defeats on the spin. Haven't won in the last 7 matches. Up against Wednesday, who've not bad form, 42% form for them right now. 3 matches, though, without a win. Now, the last time they played over at this very venue was a 3-1 win for Wednesday back in April 2024. Around about this time last season, when we were struggling for relegation, they were also struggling for relegation, but massive win for them. It was the Duncan Maguire derby then. Now it's, of course, the shit owners derby. And, of course, this time around, we did play Wednesday at Hillsborough. We won 1-0 back in December. Wednesday on the back of that 1-0 home loss to Hull. Rovers on the back of that home defeat to Borough, 2-0 loss there. Back-to-back games now without a goal for Rovers, and only scored 1 goal in the last 4 matches. This is grim stuff. So this match, of course, is surrounded by the mass controversy off the field by their owners, terrible owners, both Rovers and Wednesday. And I think there's only one way these two clubs are going over the next 18 months or so, and that is, of course, down. If it's not this season, it will be next season. So here's a point, a little tip. If you're a betting man, tip these two clubs to go down next season in the current state of things. But anyway, as for the result, I think we're going to get something here. We have to get something from Rovers. Otherwise, the next few fixtures do absolute dog shit. I'm going with a surprise 1-0 sneaky win for Blackburn Rovers and get a massive 3 points and hopefully change a bit of the toxicity around the new coach and, of course, the current state of affairs at Blackburn Rovers. But again, this win does nothing for Blackburn Rovers long term. It's just a plaster moving forward. Let's go Bristol City against West Brom. Bit of a ding-dong classic in the race for playoffs. Bristol City under Liam Manning sits 6th right now, 60 points for the season, just one defeat in the last 6 up against the Baggies under Tony Mowbray. Just one win in the last 6 matches. They sit 8th right now, 57 points for the season. They played Bristol City 25 times since 1993. 6 wins for the Robins, 13 wins for the Baggies, 6 draws between the two sides. Now, the last time they played over at this very venue was a 0-0 draw back in September 2023. The reverse fixture at the Hawthorns, 2-0 wins it was for West Brom back in December. In fact, West Brom unbeaten against the Baggies over Bristol City over the last 3. Haven't conceded a goal against them in those last 3 matches as well. In the league, it's actually been 4 games unbeaten against them, and again 4 games without conceding a goal against them in the league matches. Bristol City though on the back of that 2-1 home win over Watford. The Baggies on the back of that 1-0 loss to Sunderland, and they make it back-to-back games without a goal. Bookies expect the Robins to get the W here. I'm also leaning on that fence with the 2-1 win, and Mowbray's boys are on the brink of collapse as well. Meanwhile, Norwich up against Sunderland coming at Carrow Road. Norwich under Jonas Torup 11th right now, 52 points for the season, just 1 win in the last 6 matches. Up against Sunderland and Reggie Labrie, they are 4th, 75 points for the season, just 1 defeat in the last 6. They played 26 times since 1995, 11 wins Norwich, 10 wins Sunderland. There's been 5 draws between the two sides. Last time around over at Carrow Road, it was a 1-0 win for Norwich back in March 2024. The reverse fixture at Stadium of Light was a 2-1 win for Sunderland back in December. Sunderland on the back of that 1-0 win over West Brom, back-to-back clean sheets. Up against Norwich on the back of that 2-1 surprise loss to Plymouth. Of course, the last time they were at home, though, they did pick up that 1-0 win over West Brom. The odds for this one, Norwich have the edge. It is tight. It could be a draw, but I am backing Norwich to get the 2-0 win and get themselves a big, massive, crucial, important 3 points for the season. Meanwhile, Preston North End against Cardiff. Preston North End under Paul Heckingbottom coming at you 14th for the table, 48 points for the season. Just 1 win in the last 6 matches. Up against Cardiff under Omar Ritter. They are 22nd right now, 41 points for the campaign. They are unbeaten in the last 3 matches. They played Preston 34 times since 2003. 12 wins Preston, 13 wins Cardiff. There's been 9 draws. Last time they played at Deepdale, it was a 2-1 win for Cardiff back in November 2023. Now, the previous 3 matches between these two sides have all ended up with the away side coming out victorious. So if that trend was to continue, Cardiff should walk away with the W. Cardiff, they won the back of that 0-0 draw against QPR at Loftus Road. Preston on the back of that 1-1 draw against Stoke. It does smell like a draw, but Preston have the edge with the bookies. They also have the edge in my eyes. I'm going with a 2-1 win, Nobbers to take the 3 points. Let's go to Bramall Lane. Must-win territory for Sheffield United to keep the heat at the top 2. Up against Millwall and Alex Neil, who coming at you with 9 for the table, 54 points for the season. They've won 3 and they've lost 3 over the last 6. The Blades, though, sit in 2nd, 83 points for the season, just 1 defeat in the last 6. They played Millwall 31 times since 1994, 13 wins apiece and 5 draws. Now, they have already played each other this season at the Den. It was a 1-0 win for Sheffield United back in December. The last time they played at Bramall Lane was a 2-0 win for Sheffield United back in August 2022. The Blades, though, on the back of that 1-0 surprise loss to Oxford. Millwall with that massive win over Portsmouth, 2-1 win at the Den on the weekend. But the odds right here, right now, Sheffield United expect to win this game. I do expect them to win as well. Gone with a 3-0 win, big win, statement win to dent Millwall's strides up the table and then boost Sheffield United's hopes of the top 2. Let's go Stoke against Luton. Bit of a 6-pointer coming at you also on Tuesday at about 3-6-5. Stoke under Mark Robbins are 20th right now, 43 points for the season, just 1 defeat in the last 4. Up against Luton and Matt Bloomfield, just 1 defeat in the last 5. They're starting to cook with gas in the Bloomfield. 39 points for the season, up against Stoke on 43. Now, they played 20 times since 1993. 11 wins Stoke, 5 wins Luton. There's been 4 draws. Last time around at this very venue was a 2-0 win for Stoke back in November 2022. The reverse fixture, a 2-1 win at Kenilworth Road back in December. Stoke, though, on the back of that draw against Preston. Luton also on the back of that draw against Leeds. The odds for this one, though, is again tight. Stoke just have the edge. I'm going with a 2-1 win as well for Stoke. Boost their own relegation hopes and put Luton in more trouble. Meanwhile, Watford trying to remain in that top 6 discussion up against Hull, who are trying to get away from the relegation discussion. They played 20 times these two sides since 2005. 6 wins, Watford, 8 wins. Hull has been 6 draws, of course. Watford in 10th right now, 53 points for the season, just 1 win in the last 6. Up against Hull, Ruben Selles, just 1 defeat in the last 6. They're starting to cope with some gas. Hull, again, they last played over at Vicarage Road. It was a 0-0 draw way back in April 2024, around about this time last season. Of course, they did play this season at the MKM. It was a 1-1 draw back in December. So back-to-back draws between the two sides. Last time around, of course, Watford losing to Bristol City 2-1 at Thrashton Gate. Hull with that massive 1-0 away win to Sheffield Wednesday to boost their own hopes. Watford expect to win this one over Hull City. I've gone with a 1-1 draw, point apiece, which keeps people pretty much as they were, really, and hoping for some better results elsewhere. Meanwhile, Derby, they're taking on the Six-Finger Freakasaurus. Current table toppers, that is Burnley, of course. John Eustace's boys up against Burnley under Scotty Parker. Played 26 times since 1995. 6 wins Derby, 13 wins Burnley. There's been 7 draws. Derby, though, 21st on the table, 41 points for the season, coming into on the back of a defeat. However, 4 wins of the last 5 matches, a pretty good form for them. Burnley, though, unbeaten, of course, in, I don't even know, a long time. They've won 5 of the last 6. They are top of the pops with 84 points. They last played Derby at Derby. It was a 0-0 draw back in September 2015. And the reverse fixture at Turnmoor was a 0-0 draw back in December. Derby, though, on the back of that 1-0 loss to Swansea. Burnley on the back of that 2-1 win over Coventry to put them tip at the top of the table. Burnley expected to win this game at Derby. Of course, Derby hoping to continue their good form under John Eustace. I'm going with a 3-0 win Burnley here for the Freaks to maintain the top of the table status. Meanwhile, Borough against Leeds. Leeds are in a bit of trouble here, guys. They played 38 times since 1995. 8 wins Borough, 17 wins Leeds. There's been 13 draws. Carrick's boys are 75% form up against Daniel Farker's boys on 50% form. What does that mean? Well, Borough are in 5th with 60 points, just 1 defeat in the last 6. Up against Leeds United, who are 3rd with 82 points and just 1 win in the last 6 matches. The last time they played at the Riverside, we had that 7-goal thriller. 4-3 it was for Leeds back in April 2024. This campaign, they've already played twice, both times at Ellen Road. 3-0 win as it was for Borough over Leeds in the EFL Cup first round. They then played at Ellen Road in the league. It was a 3-1 win for Leeds back in December. So Borough just winning once of the last 6. They're coming into on the back of that 2-0 away win to Rovers. Of course, Leeds on the back of 3 successive draws, this time against Luton Town. The odds on this one, are Leeds expected to win this game? I don't know why, but I'm going to go with Borough, unfortunately. 2-1 win. Borough keeping their dreams alive and denting Leeds' automatic hopes big time. And then into the final 3, we go to Wednesday. It is the 9th of April. It's Oxford. It's QPR. It's the Kazam. Oxford and Gary Rowett sit 18th right now, 45 points for the season. 2 wins of the last 6. In fact, 2 wins of the last 3. Up against QPR, who are winners in the last 6 matches. They played, and they sit 16th right now with 46 points for the season. They played 10 times since 1996. 3 wins Oxford, 6 wins QPR. There's been 1 draw between the two sides. Last time they played competitively at the Kazam, you got to go back to September 1998, 4-1 win as it was for Oxford way back when. Now, they already played this season at Loftus Road. It was a 2-0 win for QPR back in December. QPR, though, on the back of that 0-0 draw at home to Cardiff. Last time for Oxford, it was a 1-0 win over Sheffield United at the Kazam. Back-to-back 1-0 wins at home for Oxford. They're looking for a hat-trick of home wins in a row. The bookies will go there as well. The bookies just about give it to Oxford, and I'm going with a 2-0 win as well to make it 3 wins on the spin at home for Oxford United. Into the final 2, it's Swansea, is Plymouth, must-win territory for Plymouth. Coming out at the SwanseaCity.com Stadium. Swansea under Alan Sheehan are 15th right now, 48 points for the season. Just 1 win in the last 4. Up against Plymouth under Mima Musulic, just 1 defeat in the last 4. They sit 24th with 37 points, and they played Swansea 11 times since 2008. 8 wins Swansea, 1 win Plymouth, 2 draws between the two sides. Last time around, over at Wales, it was a 1-0 win for Plymouth back in February 2024. The reverse fixture at Plymouth, 2-1 win as it was for Swansea back in December. So just 1 goal between the two sides in the last 2 matches, but the last 3 have gone with the away side. So if this form was to continue, Plymouth will come out on top with a W. But Swansea on the back of that 1-0 win over Derby at home most recently, so back-to-back home games. Plymouth on the back of that 2-1 at home win against Plymouth. Their last away match was a 0-0 draw against Watford. Maybe a point in the bag is not going to be too bad for Plymouth. The bookies expect Swansea to get the W. I've gone with the 2-0 win as well for Swansea. But for the sake of a relegation race, I'd like to see Plymouth get the win. And then finally, we have Coventry. They're going to take on Portsmouth at the RCA Arena. Coventry under Frank Lampard, just 1 win in the last 4 matches. They sit 7th right now, 59 points for the season. Up against Portsmouth and John Massinho have won 2 times out of the last 6. They sit 17th with 45 points. They played 19 times since 2001. 7 wins Coventry, 8 wins Portsmouth. 4 draws between the two sides. Last time around, at this very venue, it was a 1-0 win for Coventry way back in February 2020. The reverse fixture, a 4-1 win for Portsmouth at Coventry, against Coventry at Fratton Park back in December. Coventry's last three, what are we looking at here? They lost to Burnley, they lost to Sheffield United, they did lose to Derby. They are at home here. Their last home match was that loss. Portsmouth again, not great on the road as well. So yeah, it does look like it's going to be a home win. The book is expected to be a home win. I've gone with a 3-1 win as well for Coventry to boost their chances this season in the Championship. So that's my take on it, guys. And if I'm right, that's what the table will look like as you see it. Burnley kicking ass and taking names. Sheffield United will be in second spot. Leeds will remain in third, and the gap actually opens up there. 4 points between second and third. Going down, of course, it is Plymouth, it is Luton, it is Cardiff, with Derby well and truly in the shitter. Portsmouth and Hull not out of it just yet either. And of course, you could even include QPR and Stoke as maybe a gap is opening up in the race to avoid it. But that's, of course, my take on it, guys. Be sure to get your own take in as well using the link right here to get involved with the Prediction League. And of course, we'll see what you got in your lockers next time around. But until then, subscribe. Until then, we're done. I'm out.